Let's talk, and we've all sort of touched on it in the responses you've made so far. How important is this hybrid delivery of content, whether it's 3G, whether it's hardwired as well as over the air, whether that over the air includes satellite or whether it's just broadcast? How important is a hybrid approach for content delivery and also broadcasting, Mark?
I think it's fundamentally important. I think if we started off talking about IPTV, I think a lot of the telcos that started and launched IPTV services 2 or 3 years ago were using a hybrid platform. In fact, certainly most of the ones I was involved with were doing that, and I think that's just increased. I think, as we said before, IPTV, or telco TV as it was known in its inception, has moved into the broadcast space, and now networks and platforms are becoming truly hybrid. Take Sky as an example. We spoke and said they now have an online offering through Sky Player and their broadcast offering. There are telcos that have combined broadband television over IP with terrestrial television because it's such a nice combination. Why take television channels that are available on the terrestrial network and use the bandwidth to pump it through an IP backbone? It just makes sense to be so complementary, and again, they're not competitive. So I think as the industry's moved on and as the industry is concerned, that hybrid is almost becoming de facto. A high proportion of the products that we ship are certainly Ethernet enabled, for that very point. Sure. If operators aren't using that Ethernet port now, today
they will tomorrow.
For it in the future.
Luke, you must love this whole growth, this stampede towards hybrid adopting.
Well, absolutely, but fundamentally, broadcast in its old sense is still a great way of getting a lot of data out there to the home. So hundreds of channels at 3 or 4 megabits each and so forth, that's a lot of bandwidth. So absolutely, it ain't broke, so you don't need to change that. And then by creating hybrid devices, you can absolutely get the best of both worlds. And we deliver our services to hybrid devices, DTT and then broadband devices.
Bob, I'm sure it's the same for your clients.
Completely fundamental. And the other thing to remember is that as the world goes on down the path to switch over, and the whole world starts to remove analog spectrum,
yes,
that spectrum becomes available for hybrid devices. So it is, I agree, completely fundamental to the future.
I think sorry to interject, Chris, but I think the internet has really driven the hybrid model. I mean, consumers, as Bob said, consumers can get access to almost any content that they want. So again, repeating a word that you use, this idea of embracing the technology, Chris, and embracing the solution. And I think that's what broadcasters are doing very much today, that if you want to get a piece of content, you can get it somehow. So why not, as a content aggregator, get your little piece of the pie for supplying it, be it over IP, be it over broadcast, be it over video on demand. I think that's definitely what's happened and has driven the need for multi-platform hybrid networks.